Welcome to PowerUp. My name is Manch, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Final Fantasy 15, a game that was made for fans and first-timers, a very interesting concept for a Final Fantasy game. The overall design of it shows that Square Enix really are trying to do something new and try and appeal to those wider audiences. A real-time battle system coupled with full-scale voice acting. Gone are the reels of text when interacting with NPCs. These are all improvements on previous titles indeed. Were they all executed to perfection? Maybe not so much. This is not to take away from how good the game is though, but more to point out how things could have been done better. The one thing Square Enix always do well is tell a fantastic tale. They have a kingdom basically at war with an imperial nation, and in the middle of it, Noctis, the Prince of Lucius and the heir to the throne. But what really makes this story great is his companions. Noctis is the only player-controlled character in the game, but he will be supported by others along the way. Watching Noctis interact and develop alongside his friends is really the special part of this story. Prompto, Gladius, and Ignis do a great job at giving depth to the story itself. I was really impressed at how deep and dark the story got as you progress. There are moments of shock and there are moments of awe, but still I was found wanting. For all the twists and turns of this beautiful storytelling, there was a lot that was either not explained well enough or not explained at all. This didn't take away from the overarching story, but for some people new to the series, I could see that they would have a hard time following this, and for fans who crave the lore, it likely won't be enough. All that aside though, this is definitely one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. The visuals are spectacular. The vast scenery and landscapes design really does stand out. It certainly is something to admire. There are many different landscapes across the map, such as desert terrain, woodlands. There are even craters with massive comets in them, and even a swamp which has plenty of creatures to make it feel like it's teeming with life. The gameplay. The gameplay in Final Fantasy 15 is probably one of the biggest changes for a Final Fantasy title. Although I feel like it's somewhat of a work in progress still, the gameplay is really fun and engaging, especially when you start leveling up and upgrading the characters. Eventually you'll find yourself leaping and phasing all over the place, and laying ruin to most that oppose you. There are some enemies that will certainly give you a hard time, but hey, it wouldn't be a Final Fantasy game without some outrageously strong enemies. The level system is more like an open version of the sphere grid system from Final Fantasy X, which I really liked as it lets you customize your leveling and your skills and abilities, meaning that you have much more control over your playstyle. You can really customize Noctis out and his companions as well, to really suit the way that you go into battle. Noctis and his companions can also use magic as well as weapons in battle. This needs to be drawn from magical stones and stored in flasks. When coupled with certain items, you can really do some damage with this stuff, but it is limited, so you must be mindful of its use. And of course it wouldn't be a Final Fantasy game without summons. The summons are done a little differently this time around to what fans would be used to. The summon is literally of Titan proportions, and it is insanely powerful. This may have drove the choice to change the way that they are summoned. No longer can you just cast a summon at will. This time the summon will come to your aid when a certain criteria is met. I think this was a wise choice, and it makes it so much more epic when the summon is there to help out. While we're on the subject of gameplay, I really didn't find any negatives in the battle system or the menus, but there was a lot of this. And this. These issues certainly aren't game-breaking, but they can be a little frustrating at times. There are some extra activities that were added too, like fishing. Not only is it fun, but it's almost a game in itself, and all 4 characters have a skill or activity that they need to be leveled up, which can help you along your journey. So with the story, characters, quests, and sheer scale, this really is an impressive game. It has everything a fan needs, and it certainly is a really good entry point for newcomers. It wasn't quite as polished as I thought it would be, but that really doesn't matter once you get going. You don't tend to notice it. The story keeps you on edge and the gameplay evolves beautifully. Plus, there's enough content in this game to really keep you playing for a good while. I enjoyed the hell out of this game, and I can see a lot of other people doing the same and feeling the same that I do. On behalf of PowerUp, I'd like to thank Square Enix for providing a copy of Final Fantasy XV for this review, and allowing us to play such a fantastically beautiful game. If you haven't followed us yet, then check out our webpage, Facebook,